Of action around the NFL today. What do we have, Nick?
Trent Green and Priest Holmes lighting it up. Green 204 yards in the first half. Priest Holmes 159 yards and 2 touchdowns as they are stomping all over San Diego. The Giants are edging St. Louis. Kenny Holmes recovering a fumble in the end zone. One of 2 fumbles lost by Kurt Warner. Your boys doing all right against New England. Travis Henry, Drew Bledsoe to Dave Moore, and big Sam Adams, of all people, with that 37-yard interception return. What else we got going on? Bit of a snorer in Cleveland, just a pair of field goals, a short one for Phil Dawson, and a 22-yarder for Mike Band. Jack Denver doing too much for Cincinnati. It's been all Denver there. Clinton Portis with a couple of touchdown runs. Miami edging Houston at the moment. Chris Chambers, 2 touchdown passes from Jay Fiedler. They're playing in the third quarter in Jacksonville. They just kicked a field goal to go with Mark Edwards' 2-yard run. And Matt Hatchett, 33 yards from Mark Brunell. Pittsburgh leading Baltimore, shutting them out. Hines Ward, a 4-yarder from Tommy Maddox on a pair of field goals. Arizona and Detroit sharing 14 apiece. Blake to Bolden and Jones for Arizona. Harrington, a pair from Rodgers, the rookie of whom we are going to hear much over the next few years. And we're here in the last few seconds. Arizona have just scored a touchdown, so that is 20-14 Arizona with the extra point to come. Kev.
Okay, the Green Bay Packers 24 wins in the last 2 years, most in the NFL, but they trail at the half, 20-3. Brian Balgner, but first, Kenny Albert. They are our commentators as we get back to Lambeau Field.
We get ready for the start of the second half here at Lambeau Field with the Minnesota Vikings leading the Green Bay Packers by the score of 20-3. Kenny Albert with Brian Baldinger. Brian, how surprised are you by what has taken place so far over the first half?
Well, we talked about the quarterbacks at the opening, and one is hot and one isn't. And the hot one is Culpepper, and he's directed this offense beautifully. And Brett Favre has had trouble connecting with his receivers, but Culpepper got off hot. Nice 17-yard run here in the opening drive. They got points right away. And then he's been able to connect with a number of different receivers. This one to John Avery for the first touchdown. Rolled out here to Dwayne Bates to the back of the end zone. Moss took all the coverage. Culpepper found the open man. And so right now, Dante Culpepper taking care of the football except for one little blemish, one fumble in the pocket, but he's played very well here in the first half. Did a nice job of throwing the ball away.
A pair of touchdown passes for Culpepper, one to Avery and the other to Bates. Antonio Chapman on the return for the Packers. Out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. So Brett Favre and the offense will go to work here in the third quarter. 9 of 16, only 67 yards, 3 picks.
Well, you know, part of it is Brett, part of it is the receivers and the lack of continuity. That was great coverage that time for Bernard Walker. The interception by Corey Chavis. This one looks like it was just an overthrow. Brian Russell picked that one off, and then right before the end of the first half, just a flat-out breakdown between him and Donald Driver. It's frustrating, but they got to put it behind them. And
Von Green on the toss, takes it out to the 28-yard line for a gain of 1 on first down.
I was listening to Jimmy Johnson at halftime, Kenny, and he's right. You know, this defense here has been retooled. They brought in free agents like Chris Claiborne and Denard Walker. We've talked about those guys tonight. Kenny Irvin comes in right now. But not only that, but they are hustling. They're tackling very well right now. And the new defensive coordinator here, George O'Leary, is a guy that really, he can coach any position on defense, and he does. He's also the defensive line coach as well as his coordinator.
He was the D-line coach last year under coordinator Willie Shaw, former head coach at Georgia Tech. As Farf's pass is caught by Ferguson, stopped about a yard shy of the marker out of the 36. It's a gain of 8.
Yeah, and that time Chris Claiborne was right there. And that's one of the acquisitions. We talked to Claiborne yesterday. Came over from Detroit, and he said, you know, in Detroit, we were losing so much that the players stopped playing team football. They just were they're concentrating on their stats, trying to get a new contract, and that's what you played for. He goes, here, he goes, it feels like a team. The guys have accepted me. I'm able to play my weak side linebacker and make plays right now.
On 3rd and 1, Von Green out to the 37-yard line. He's close. Look at the yellow first down line once again as Peter Morelli will call for the chains.
Second and 10, ball remains on the 37.
This Vikings defense hasn't been on the field all that much. You know, with the turnovers, they've got to be thinking very confidently right now.
Packers offense had the ball for under 11 minutes in the first half.
It is 2-1 right here in time of possession. That's a big reason why the 4 turnovers from Green Bay, but really just otherwise domination.
Favre looking for Ferguson once again. Pass a bit high. Ryan Williams, who has one of the 3 Viking interceptions this afternoon on the coverage.
Ryan Williams has been active. He's a young corner they drafted last year in the 3rd round from North Carolina State. He's had a good preseason. A guy that really they didn't want him to start. They wanted Kenny Irvin to start and for him to be the nickelback. But with the injury to Kenny Irvin, he fractured his toe in the first preseason game. He got most of the reps during the preseason.
Williams, a 4th round draft pick a year ago.
That's a blitz from him.
3 wide receivers set on 2nd and 10. A handoff to Najee Davenport. And Davenport gains 4 out across the 40. Chris Hovan made the tackle.
Well, Chris Hovan made a pretty good flap in the offseason about wanting to get a piece of Brett Favre. Does a nice job, and that's what defensive linemen do. They just throw their body right in the middle. Now grab some shirt on the offensive lineman, hold him, and then just start ping-ponging all the way down the line and clogging things up.
Hovan bought a shirt during the offseason, a Brett Favre replica jersey, hung it in his locker for the last 8 months.
Brett Favre said he didn't buy a Hovan jersey.
No?
Didn't repay it.
Favre wrapped up and taken down by Chris Claiborne.
That's Claiborne there. He's able to blitz in a lot of different defenses now that they have on the field. And that's what he said he was excited to do. Here he is on the outside. They blitzed both inside linebackers, Beekert and Claiborne. They picked Beekert up, but Claiborne came free.
Keenan Howry from the 25. Potential face mask as flags come flying.
I think that's the right call there, Kenny.
Howry, the rookie out of Oregon.
See if this is the 5-yard variety or the intense 15-yard variety.
During the return, personal foul, face mask, number 21 of the kicking team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
It's a 15. Good field position for the Vikings.
He has no memory, no identity, and no idea why someone wants him dead.
Something wrong?
I don't even know who I'm hiding from.
You! Stop right there!
Why are you trying to kill me?
Matt Damon.
Boy, you don't know what you're doing, do you? You don't have a goddamn clue.
The Bourne Identity, now showing on Sky Box Office.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, zoom, 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 zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, 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 yeah. Zoom.
Eight pieces of chicken, 4 fries, 2 large sides, and a Pepsi. The KFC Family Feast, only $9.99.
Strongbow. Get refreshed.
Don't forget the magazine show, The NFL This Week, is on Sky Sports 3, 7 p.m. this Friday. If you miss it, catch it Saturday morning, 11 a.m. on Sky Sports Extra. Remember, you can get NFL films, fantastic games on every take of what's happening throughout the week on NFL This Week. Make sure you check us out.
Point lead. Go to work from their own 41-yard line. 3 wide receivers for Dante Culpepper. Culpepper airing it out, nearly intercepted by Mike McKenzie. Culpepper was looking for Randy Moss downfield.
And that's the first chance they had today of getting the ball deep to Moss. Something I think they need to do more of. No safety helping. Darren Sharper, Pro Bowl free safety of the Packers, told us that when Culpepper is off, he usually is off deep. He said he's actually plays Culpepper deeper on the deep ball, anticipating that. McKenzie looked like he understood that as well. He could have had an interception because of that.
Sharper told us Culpepper's ball sails a bit as well. This time, Culpepper on the money to Moss, his 7th catch. And 6 of the 7 have gone for a Vikings first down. 27-yard pass play.
This is all done by Culpepper before the snap. Watch what Culpepper's looking at. He's looking at the free safety right here. He moves over this way. It opens up this whole inside here for Moss. There's no double team help here. Every time they see Moss singled like that with no safety help, they're going to throw the ball to him.
Moss goes over the 100-yard mark for the afternoon. Bo Williams spinning down to the 31-yard line. Gain of 2 on the play.
But you know, when this offense is moving like this, Kenneth, and they're connecting with Moss and Culpepper, and they're getting the turnover, suddenly the running back situation doesn't seem to make much difference. I mean, whether it's Mo Williams in there and how to replace Michael Bennett, I mean, all of a sudden that whole issue goes away.
Moss with 7 catches, Brian, as we mentioned, 3 of the 7 have been for 20 yards or longer.
Big plays out of Moss here this afternoon.
3 wide receivers set. Moss in the slot.
It's a corner blitz.
And a quick slam. Intended for Dwayne Bates. Late hit. Flag comes out. Marcus Anderson hit Bates hard after the ball had sailed out of bounds.
That's that defenseless receiver right there that they want to protect against in the league this year.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 20 on the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Second personal foul of this drive. It started with the face mask on the punt return.
15-yard penalties. Here's the overthrow. And I don't know, he's still in the field of play. Whacked him in the back. Sometimes you just gotta make him pay a little bit. I don't know how overly aggressive that was.
So first down from the 16-yard line of the Packers. Hand off Williams. Gains just 1. Down to the 15. Look at Gilbert Brown playing with a torn biceps.
Yeah, and you know, he's a guy that they have on a snap count. He comes out now, and Rod Walker comes in. They just don't know how many snaps they're going to get out of Gilbert every game. They want to try to keep him as fresh as possible, so they rotate him regularly.
Brown originally drafted 10 years ago by the Vikings. Second down and 9 from the 15. Culpepper to the end zone, penalty marker, and the catch was made by Moss. Offensive pass interference.
They got that same situation, though, Kenny, where the safety went to the deep middle.
Number 84 of the offense, 10-yard penalty. Still, second down.
I don't know if Randy needed to push off on this. He had McKenzie beat right from the go. That's not the penalty. He's fine there. He's got him beat there. I don't know if that's the penalty. That's just getting off the jam. That's what they teach you. Then maybe he grabbed a little bit of the jersey, but that's just good hand play. That's what you want your receivers to be able to do.
Viking coaches on the sidelines not happy about it.
They shouldn't be.
Giving the officials a piece of their mind. Culpepper takes off inside the 15 and tripped up down at the 12 by Niall Diggs. 13-yard gain for Culpepper.
And with that injury to Michael Bennett, that's their best running back. Dante Culpepper, and those kind of decisions. First of all, it exhausts the defensive linemen when they have to chase him like that. Just when they think they can get a pass rush on him and get him to him, when he pulls it down like that, you have to brace yourself to go hit that man. I mean, he looked like he blocked the frame of the door when he came into our meeting yesterday.
Culpepper has said defensive backs are more afraid of me than I am of them. That's not the case with most quarterbacks.
Well, they have to get the spelling of a suit right. You know, he's got a tailor that makes his suits. They still can't spell his name right.
Left out the U and Dante. Third down and 7 to the end zone. Randy Moss, touchdown. 13 yards, Culpepper to Moss. Culpepper's third touchdown pass of the afternoon.
It looks too easy, doesn't it? I mean, there's no help on him at all. Remember they used to... I mean, McKenzie playing him inside, so Moss goes outside. Now, that looked like that could have been a push-off. A little bit more than the first one. Some kind of a day by Randy Moss already.
This seems like a continuation of the playoff game the Packers played in January when they lost to the Falcons.
Like a big hangover effect, Kenny, that hasn't gotten off this team yet.
27-3, Minnesota.
Yes, Minnesota always been outstanding on offense, but defense showing a little as well today, 27-3. But Christian, we are getting some texts have come in. Here's one from Ian in Kingston. Do you think that Edgerrin James, now that he's over his injuries, will have an opportunity to finish as the rushing leader in the NFL?
I don't think so, because he got guys like Ricky Williams, Marshall Faulk, Chris Holmes. Those guys are just on fire at this point. So I'm sure he's going to do well if he's just getting off of an injury.
Nick, what do you think of this one? Scott from Surrey. You think Kurt Warner will ever regain his form again with St. Louis and lead them to the Super Bowl?
It's a good question. I mean, it was a nightmare last year, wasn't it? But, I mean, you know, they decided St. Louis this year, he's our guy. You know, they nailed that whole Bulger controversy on the head right at the start, Mike Martz said, no controversy here, this is our guy. But, you know, he's had a couple of turnovers already against the Giants in the first half. Giants tough defensively, it has to be said. But remember how Warner came into the league in '99, and he just looked sensational, and he's not really come close to recapturing that. I know he's got 2 league MVP tallies now as well, but he does seem to have lost a little bit of something with that, you know, with that wrist injury and a hand injury that he had last year.
Here's one from Scott Campbell. He says, you know, a couple things right, couple things maybe questions. Favre has never won a Super Bowl. I think you're wrong there, because he throws too many interceptions. He hasn't learned to be more composed. And as we're sitting here, Christian, you say Favre needs probably more competition in Green Bay.
I think he does need some competition in Green Bay as far as another quarterback coming in to compete with him. Because right now, he does whatever he wants. He talks about retiring and then not retiring and so on and so forth. And then when you do that, your offensive line, they don't believe in you. Running back is not doing well. Your defense is just demoralized.
27-3.
Playmakers. That's Randy Moss right there, a playmaker.
Here's Chapman, took it out from the 9. Brought down at the 22. 13-yard return. This is Moss's 11th game against Green Bay. Got over the 100-yard mark. It's 7 of the 11.
I think he likes the Packers.
full slate of games this today. And what do we have, Nick?
We got another score in Kansas City, but it's not for Kansas City this time, who were leading 24-0 at the break, and Drew Brees has finally got this San Diego offense alive. Looking for his tight end, Josh Norman, and the big guy goes in untouched from 20 yards out. Midway through that third quarter, is there time for a rally in Kansas City? I doubt it. I think the Chiefs are probably quite happy where they are right now. Thank you very much.
You look at San Diego, you've always liked San Diego. Do they have the tools to come back?
No, I don't think so. I mean, Marty, you know very well, he's a grinded out guy. He likes to just establish it on the ground and just keep things at a distance. He's not a quick strike coach. We've lost all pictures in here, guys. Well, we seem to have lost pictures there, Kevin. I don't know what happened there, so it's a rather strange one. Christian, what about Marty Schottenheimer, though? He's not the kind of guy that, that is a quick strike guy, is he?
Well, one thing is that he's changed a little bit from the way he used to be in Cleveland and early Kansas City. Now that he has a good quarterback and a running game, I think he can mix it up and maybe come back.
At Kansas City, I'll go back to this Priest Holmes thing. Just signed for $10 million bonus, $5 million a year.
Ow.
Do the players, the rest of the team, because there's such a fluctuation in salaries, do the players on the team, do they feel good about it, or is there jealousy?
Well, one thing about players is that when something like that happens, they're very happy for the player, of course, But then again, when it comes to their turn, they want to get the same thing, So if they're a good enough player, they will ask for the same thing, whether they know you have the money or not. They want the same amount of money. So Priest Holmes, I mean, this is his time, and he's getting the money, he's getting paid, so good luck to him.
And you look at the San Diego Chargers, they pick up David Boston. Was that a wasted pickup? Is Drew Brees the guy that can get him the football?
Well, it's a gamble of a pickup with somebody like David Boston, because there's a ton of talent there. The question is up here. What does he want to do up here? That's the big question. So in one sense, it's a bit of a gamble. But, I mean, when you look at what they had, Curtis Conway, who's a good, dependable old pro.
Yep.
But, I mean, Curtis Conway is not going to stretch the field and frighten you. David Boston, if he's got his head in gear, he can do that. So it's worth trying to upgrade if you can get a player like that. But he's not necessarily the answer. I think when you look at the losses that they suffered on defense as well, Sayao, Harrison going, a couple of other guys, I'm not sure that the San Diego Chargers moved on that much. I thought their running game would be better. They got big Lorenzo Neal in there to block for Tomlinson, but right now the Chiefs seem to have them in check as well.
And we're having just a little bit of difficulty with the pitchers coming out of Lambeau Field, and as soon
we're not getting any, Kev. That's what's happened. They're gone.
As soon as we get them, we're back to you. But speaking of Lambeau Field, Gilbert Brown playing with torn biceps.
Well, I tell you what, I play with a torn bicep myself during my days, and him playing with it is not a big deal because he's in the defense. So playing the offense is where the problem is, because you'll be able to block and catch the ball and hold on to the ball when you're running the ball, like I did. So in the defense, I don't think it's a big problem. If you broke a bone, then that's a different story. But a torn bicep, you can play with it.
They have trouble with the with their arm muscles, those defensive linemen of the Green Bay Packers. Joe Johnson missed almost all of last season with a torn triceps muscle. He went down in week 5 and wasn't seen again, and hadn't been playing very well up to that point anyway, it has to be said. So I wonder what they're doing up there in Green Bay, those defensive linemen, ripping their arm muscles up.
Yeah, what they probably do, they probably need some of those vitamins that Christian is selling,
Hey guys,
it doesn't bother him. Torn triceps doesn't even bother him. Hey, we'll keep it here. Hopefully we'll be right back after this break with the pictures from Lambeau.
New to Sky Sports, the UEFA Champions League. More big names, more big games than ever before, with a choice of 14 live matches in each week of the group stages, including coverage of Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Real Madrid, Celtic, Rangers, and the holders AC Milan. Sky Sports brings you the UEFA Champions League as you've never seen it. It all starts Tuesday, September 16th, Sky Sports 2 and Extra.
Wondering how to describe a car with a compact exterior and a spacious interior? It's easy when you know how. Use the word compacious. Go on, compacious. Do you speak micro?
An offset mortgage with First Direct is very easy, very straightforward. Any savings you've got are set off or offset against the mortgage. You're dealing with First Direct, so you know that you're getting a good rate. Oh, yes. Having an offset mortgage is like if you pinch chips off somebody else's plate, they don't have any calories. An offset mortgage, it's their chips, but you're eating them. Makes you a lot better off and takes away all the worry and all the hassle.
The new Micra is now available with 1 year's free insurance. Now you can speak Micra.
Still a few problems at Lambeau Field. We talked about the Kansas City-San Diego Chargers game. Here's a field goal attempt. The score coming into this was 24-7. Now it's 27-7. Our commentators in this one, Sims and Gumble, as we get over to Kansas City. So they'll go to a break. We'll come back here and, we'll talk about your team, the Kansas City Chiefs. Here this year, a lot is expected of them offensively. What have they done off-season for the defense?
Well, of course, off-season.
Had some trouble with it. Momentum carried it back into the end zone. So it is a touchback. Vikings will start from their own 20. Coming up in the second half of our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader, most of you will see the Chicago Bears as they look to shut down Terrell Owens and the 49ers. Falcons without Michael Vick take on Bill Parcells and the Dallas Cowboys. And the Saints and the Seahawks. The biggest stories of the NFL are in the NFC. And the NFC is on Fox. Huge series for the Green Bay defense.
No question, and the fans realize that. They just came alive here. We'll see how aggressive Minnesota is offensively.
Chapman game 2 on first down. As we check in once again with JB in Los Angeles.
And don't forget the NFL this week is on Sky Sports 7 p.m. this Friday. Saturday morning, 11 a.m. on Sky Sports Extra. NFL Films, fantastic take on every game this weekend.
All right, thanks, JB. 2nd and 7 for the Vikings. Culpepper's pass was behind the intended receiver. Tim Kleinsaucer, first-round pick Nick Barnett, had the coverage.
Yeah, and this third down, you hate, with a whole quarter to go, Green Bay is just looking for some kind of momentum. The fans are looking for something. Favre wants something. And this third down right here, you can feel it. Inside just the biggest crowd ever to be inside Lambeau Field right now. They know the importance of this play.
And the crowd now on their feet. 72,000.
And the guy they've got to stop here is Randy Moss, who's up here.
From the shotgun, Culpepper in trouble. Dumps it off to Chapman. And Chapman, good second effort, picks up the first down out at the 32-yard line. Looked like Packers had it wrapped up, but then Chapman able to get out to the 32.
And a great call by Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator, because it's the first screen that the Vikings have run today. Look at David Dixon out in front of Marcus Anderson. Anderson couldn't figure out how to get around him. And then a great effort by Chapman, who's hobbled with a high ankle sprain, to fight for those extra yards to get the first down.
I think the wrong guy's nicknamed Eclipse.
Yeah, well, Culpepper puts up 4 fingers because it's the 4th quarter. And this is the quarter they know they have to win to pull out this upset today.
Last December here at Lambeau, Vikings had a 9-point lead over the Packers. As they head into the 4th quarter, they lead this one by 16. We'll return to Lambeau after these messages.
Come on, man, push it! Come on. Move it. Move it. Concentrate. Keep watching. Come on. Come on.
I'm walking in the rain.
Every patter speaks your name, 'cause nothing's been the same.
Fixodent Neutral, the adhesive cream for a secure fit and neutral taste. Fixodent, life with more bite.
Does your car insurance guarantee you a courtesy car? Check your policy. Then just ask the AA for a quote on 0800 444 777.
27-11 in our game, in Minnesota Vikings able to get that third down attempt going into the fourth quarter. First down ball had to be a big play.
I'll tell you what, man, that's a good play, a big play right there. They need to hold on to the ball, run the ball a lot, run out the clock in the fourth quarter. If they don't do that and hand the ball back to Green Bay, like I said before, Brett Favre can do something with that ball.
Okay, it's 27-11. Green Bay Packers trailing. Like Nick said, they haven't lost to Minnesota in a long time at Lambeau Field.
Well, last December 8th, in the game that involved some extracurricular activity between Favre and home, and Vikings led the Packers 22-13. They led by 9 entering the fourth quarter. Packers came back to win the game.
2 fourth quarter touchdown drives engineered by Favre.
Culpepper to Moss. Randy Moss finally down.